Today's Tuesday, August 7th, and welcome to the Music Business Blitz. The coolest grandpas in the room.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I wanted to start today's Blitz off with this really fun story, which goes to prove that you're never too old to have a good time. So check this out. So two gentlemen broke out of a German nursing home over this past weekend, and they did this so they could attend one of Europe's biggest heavy metal festivals called Wacken Open Air. So let me repeat that. Two gentlemen planned an escape from their retirement home to see metal bands. I love this story. Now, once the staff at the retirement home figured out that these two gentlemen were MIA, they immediately called the police. Then around 3 a.m., the police found these two guys on the festival grounds. And once they were found, they had to be convinced to go back to their retirement home. So to give you guys just a quick idea of how metal this festival actually is, the headliners this year were Judas Priest, Dimmu Borgir, and Nightwish.
The Big Three versus Russia.
Okay, so the big three record labels, Universal, Warner, and Sony Music, as well as some other larger labels, they've had enough. They have officially filed a joint lawsuit against two Russia-based illegal stream and ripping sites. Now, these sites that are facing the suit, the first one is spelled FLVTO.biz, and the second one is spelled the number 2, CONV.com. So these sites have been on the RIAA and the IFPIs, which that one stands for International Federation of Phonographic Industry, essentially a global-wide RIAA. Well, these two Russia-based illegal sites have been on both the RIAA and the IFPI's hit list for quite some time now, because if you're not familiar with sites like this, what they allow users to do is rip audio and video from YouTube. And since most songs on YouTube are of very high quality, these sites are very, very popular, and they allegedly receive more than 120 million monthly visitors. So back in 2016, a former lawsuit filed against another popular site like this swung in the favor of the labels and shut down. It was forced to shut down. So I'm about 99% sure that the ruling from that case will weigh heavily on the outcome of this case.
Social media's obsession with music.
All types of personalities use social media. All different ages of people use social media, and it's quite obvious that we all tend to share and are following largely varying degrees of personalities and information online. So for example, I post about music all the time, while my wife, she posts about cats all the time. I engage with and follow topics related to the industry, and my good friend Mike, he follows topics related to new tech. And so that makes sense because everyone is into different things and everyone has a different personality, so we're going to engage with different people online or things online. Well, apparently there is one thing that my wife, Mike, and myself, and probably all you out there have in common in our social media sharing and engagement habits. And that, my friends, that's music. So MusicWatch, who is a company specializing in music industry related research, they just released a new study finding that 9 out of 10 people who use social media on a consistent basis, quote, partake in some music or artist-related activity on the most popular social applications. And to easily digest the results from their study, MusicWatch released a pretty sweet infographic. Like, it's pretty visually attractive, and they do a good job of capturing kind of all of the key metrics from their study. Now, it outlines stats on various social media outlets and what type of activity users on these outlets are doing. So for example here, right, 30% of the people surveyed for this study discovered an artist or song from a friend on social media. The infographic then goes on to compare music's power to other industries in the social media sphere, and it also has a lot of other interesting bits of information. So you can imagine if you're in the industry, this is probably important stuff to you, right? Because you want to know how your fans are engaging and how they're consuming your product. So overall, not shocking news. I don't think it'd be shocking news for anybody, but I think it's cool that they have these different metrics now that they can share with the industry. And I did want to wrap up this particular story with a quote from MusicWatch. So based on the data, it's clear that, quote, music itself is a vital ingredient to the social conversation. I personally wholeheartedly agree with that, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Streaming gold.
All right, so to cap today's Blitz off, I thought we would end in some good news, right? So Music Business Worldwide, which is a website you need to go and check out right now. They did some data crunching from the first half financial results of 2018 for Sony Music and Universal Music Group. So collectively, those companies, they raked in $2.38 billion so far this year in streaming, which is, wait for it, an increase of $635 million from last year. So that's great news, right? Yes, it absolutely is. But here's an even crazier number getting down into the nitty-gritty. So there were 180 days in the first half of this year. And if you multiply that by 24 hours a day, what do you get? I don't know yet. Say the number in your head, and I'm going to make you work here. I'm going to make you work a little bit here. So now you take this combined dollars of $2.3 billion, you divide that by the number in your head. You got the answer? Well, if you didn't, it's all good. It's all good. It is early, right? So I got it. And what we're looking at is together, Sony and Universal averaged a payout of $550,000 every hour from streaming. And that is exactly why I call this segment Streaming Gold. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Do something nice for somebody. I'm going to catch back up with you tomorrow.